guys. So long time, no video. This is something that has sort of just been going on for the last around 2 years or so, in which, ever since I got to college, I really had to decide whether I wanted to throw myself into being a college student and absorbing literally everything that I can from the people, places, classes around me, or if I were to spend more time on YouTube and all my Instagram and Tumblr accounts and stuff that are connected to this. And so basically, if you've been subscribed to me for a long time, you know that I'm sort of sporadic in my uploading schedule, which, actually the schedule is just non-existent, truly. But here I am, I'm back. I am going to hopefully be semi-regular for the rest of the summer. Maybe I'll pre-film so I can continue uploading videos in the fall. But I just wanted to pop on here, and before I start going back to my, regular content, just wanted to do a quick sort of life update, how things are going right now, and then a Q&A. I asked you guys on my Instagram last week if there were any questions you guys had, and I had over 100 different questions. So I tried to narrow it down to the things that I got the most, or I think could be most easily answered in a short form Q&A. So here we go. As for how things are going right now, so I am in the summer after my second year of college. I am currently 20 years old, which is wild, but just so you guys, know where I'm at. And I am currently, for the summer, working on a full-time internship that is about 10 weeks long, and I've also made time to go on vacations with friends and family, like beach week with people that are in marching band. I was able to go see Lady Gaga live with my mom, and that was a big 20th birthday present that she surprised me with. I've been able to sort of just balance having fun this summer, but then also starting my job. So I am a 9-to-5 marketing and communications intern for a really large nonprofit organization in the U.S. I get to work at their national headquarters, and I absolutely love what I'm doing. I think it's so interesting, and it's sort of given me a taste for what the commute life looks like, what it's like to really not be at home for 12 or 13 hours in a row. And I have been sort of trying to balance the fact that even though I've now completed 3 weeks of that, I am so tired all of the time. So I'm trying to just get more sleep. Last week I literally just kept going to bed at 9 p.m., which is so early, but it's what you gotta do so you don't have to have 3 cups of coffee every day and stuff like that. But so my next question I have is about what subjects I am taking and what my plan is for next year. So currently I'm not enrolled in any classes, but for last semester, spring 2019, I was enrolled in the philosophy of memory, which was so cool. I was in a cognition class, research methods, and statistics, and also a Hinduism class. So those were the 4 things that I took last semester. In this upcoming semester, I am taking part 2 of that research methods and stats class because it's a dual semester requirement. I'm taking a media studies class that has to do with Black femininities and masculinities in the media, which is so cool. I'm really excited about that. I'm taking medical anthropology, child psychology, and then I'm still on the wait list for the introduction to educational psychology. And then, of course, also I'm enrolled in marching band, which is considered a class at my university. So those are the things that I'm taking, or I took and I will be taking, and I'm really excited about them. The next natural question that I'm sure all of you have watching this, but also that I got many, many times, was, what is your major? So I am a double major in psychology and cognitive science. And within cognitive science, I am concentrating in linguistics because it's an interdisciplinary major and I'm able to choose one area I want to concentrate in. But I might informally do 1 or 2 additional concentrations just because I do have room in my schedule and I'm nearly done with both of those majors already. So yes, that's what I'm doing. And then another question I had that was adjacent to this topic is, do you still like your major and want to keep it? So I just declared both of those officially, even though I've been working towards them and completing requirements during both first and second year. So I declared last semester. I enjoy the classes I take for both of them. I like the fact that since I'm, so ahead of schedule in terms of completing my majors, I'm able to also take classes in areas that don't have to do with my major, like that media studies class or the medical anthropology class and things like that. So I'm able to sort of, continue getting that like robust, general education as well. Another question that I have gotten a lot has to do with my future plans, post-grad plans, where I see myself in the next 5 years, etc. So in terms of grad school, if that's in the cards for me, I would absolutely say yes. My post-grad plans I sort of have a few different options, I guess. So the first thing that I could aspire to be and do well at would to be a clinical psychologist. So that would mean I go into a master's program and then afterwards potentially work to earn a PhD in clinical psychology. And that would require, many additional years of schooling and also is kind of expensive and something that I do have to consider. And then if not, I think I'm really interested in the marketing side of psychology, which is why I'm in this internship that I'm currently in, and I'm sort of deciding whether or not that is something I can see myself doing for a good period of time. So those are sort of like the next steps for me. In the next 5 years, I hope I have my own apartment and I have roommates. Maybe they went to college with me, maybe not. I hope that I'm really just happy with whichever path I choose, basically. I got a question about what my goals are for the next year. I'm going to interpret that as the next school year rather than calendar year. This is something I really haven't thought about yet. I was planning on doing a lot of like reflection and goal setting later on this summer, but I guess I can do some of that now. I think one of my goals definitely would be to be a really, really great section leader. One of my best friends and I are co-leading the baritone section and marching band, which is so exciting. And so I hope I can serve as a really good example for our incoming class of people and just be able to be very effective in how I choose to do so. I also am really, really excited to sort of just invest in the friendships I already have and just sort of like cultivate new friendships as I do so. I also am living in my sorority house this upcoming year, and so there are people I'm not as close to yet in my pledge class, and I also want to, be able to be a friend to, again, those new people that are going to be coming in. So I think that's another goal of mine. Another goal would have to do with research and just getting involved with more research opportunities because I really liked the research I've done from the past year, and I'd like to explore new areas to see if I'm interested in those. And I also have a goal to raise my GPA just because my first semester was kind of rough, and I really do have room to improve in terms of my college GPA. The next question I have is how I approach networking. So to be honest, I have procrastinated on making a LinkedIn account for about a year now. I should probably get on that, especially since I've already had formal intern opportunities and things like that. But in terms of networking, I don't think it has to be super scary. I think just investing yourself in people and pouring your energy and getting to know them and their lives and offer, friendship and a listening ear is something that is so important. And I think for me personally, as a college student, I make an effort to get to know the people around me because, in a few years, everyone's going to be, off in the world doing their own thing, whether it's at more education, like more schooling, or out in the workforce or what have you. And I think it's just important to remember that the friends that you have now, like to keep your network wide, and those people are, if you decide to continue keeping in touch with them, could be, very useful down the road. If like I have friends that are pre-med now that could end up being, surgeons in the future and all sorts of things. So that's sort of how I look at it. It's just getting to know people and keeping them on your radar. Okay, so I was really excited about the next couple of questions I have that have to do with the type of music I listen to while studying. So when I am studying or doing work, like even like at my job during the day, like I literally listen to music in my earbuds almost at all times, unless if I'm like in a meeting or something like that. And I absolutely love making Spotify playlists. It's probably one of my like top hobbies, I guess you could say. And I listen to different types of music for different subjects, for different moods, different times of day, whatever. And so I was actually thinking about making a Spotify account that's for, studying, just because my Spotify is connected to my Facebook, and I don't really, I like to maintain my privacy, as you guys know. But if I were to make an account that's separate, that you guys could access all of my playlists publicly, is that something you guys would be interested in? I would probably also make a video adjacent to that, just explaining what I use, like which playlists I use for what and stuff like that. So just let me know in the comments if that's something you guys want to see or like would listen to and things like that. Do you ever feel like you spend more time planning and writing stuff down than actually doing it? I'm saying this because I've been guilty of it in the past. Okay, so I would say in high school, I definitely didn't spend more time planning something than actually doing it, but I definitely spent more time than maybe necessary to write down everything. Like I used to make huge, elaborate, beautiful bullet journal spreads and sticky note after sticky note and like goal setting and this, and you can find all of that in like older videos of mine that have to do with bullet journaling and planning. I would say as of now, like I do still spend time writing to-do lists, but definitely I've gotten more efficient at it. Like I'm not putting washi tape all over the place and using 8 different colors. Like I have definitely streamlined that process. The next question is about the most interesting classes I've taken. So in high school, the most interesting class to me was absolutely AP Psychology. I loved my teacher. He was incredible. He ended up writing one of my recommendations for college applications. And it was just such a cool experience. And it was like sort of the reason I was more interested in pursuing that when I was at college. Most interesting class in college, I would say, would be this class I took about identity. It was within like the American Studies department, and it was sort of a discussion between the authenticity of an identity and whether that validation is external or internal. And I thought that was just such a cool conversation that I'd never thought of in an academic sense. My study habits have almost 100% changed since coming to college. I would say I use my laptop a lot more for taking notes out of textbooks, not necessarily in lectures, because a lot of my lectures don't allow technology, which is, both a blessing and a curse, I guess. But they've changed in the sense that I just don't have to rely on worksheets in some classes like I did in high school. It's so dependent by class, for sure. I would say that some classes of mine I study for in almost the same way I would study in high school, and some classes like you literally cannot, because it's material you can't really study if it's like a more humanities style class where it's mostly like essays or papers. So it's totally class dependent. So my favorite black pen is either the Pilot Juice .38 black pen or the Muji hexagonal .38 gel pen, I believe. I love both of those. I've been having issues with one of them, like skipping a little bit, but most of the time they're very, very reliable. And I really like the thin tip pens as well, just because my handwriting can be kind of small as a lefty. And they also don't smudge, which is huge. All right, so the last question I'm going to answer in this, I think, pretty long video. So thank you guys if you're still here watching, is about the differences between first and second year of college. There are tons of differences, but I would say one of the biggest is the fact that you don't really know what you're doing first year. You are figuring out, the location of all your classes. Half the time you're like Google mapping where a specific building is because you don't really know. You're figuring out who your friends are, and then much later, after first year finishes, you'll figure out whether or not those friends are true ones or not, based on, if convenience factors are eliminated in terms of your living situations being close by or your classes or what have you. You're figuring out just like how to function at your university, basically. And then after your first year finishes, you can figure out who your friends are. You are learning how to live in an apartment rather than just a dorm room so you might have multiple roommates and you have to share a kitchen or bathroom or whatever, and dealing with that can be slightly different. You could change your major or your pre-professional path. Like I was once upon a time pre-med because I wanted to be a psychiatrist rather than clinical psychologist. And, there are tons of people who change their minds about what they want to pursue academically, and that's big. Figuring out what you want to be involved in and where you want to spend your time is also super big. So I would say there are tons of differences, but those are the ones that I feel most strongly about. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this was useful and informative. If you want to see anything else from me on my channel, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!